Welcome to Storytime with Pastor Steve. Today's story is Sir Abner and his Grape Pickers. It's based on Matthew chapter 20 and is written by Janice Kramer and illustrated by Jim Roberts. Sir Abner was sleeping as sound as a rock. He woke with a jerk when he heard someone knock. "Who is it?" he called, with a stretch and a yawn. "Who's waking me up at the hour of dawn?" "It's Hector, your helper," a timid voice said. "Oh, please, sir, get up and get out of bed. The grapes in the vineyard are ready to fall. We need to have workers to harvest them all." Sir Abner got dressed in a hurry and then went out and found 25 healthy young men. "I'll pay you 1 silver," he said to each one, "to work in my vineyard until the day's done." "Well, that's fine," said the men, as they quickly agreed. 1 silver is a very good wage indeed. "We'll carry in all that your vineyard can yield." And off they went running to Sir Abner's field. The morning soon passed. It was time to eat lunch, but just as Sir Abner was starting to munch, he heard a knock-knock on the dining room door. "Who is it?" he cried, with a great hungry roar. "It's Hector, your helper," the timid voice said. "Oh, please, sir, put down your roast beef and your bread. The vines are so full, there's so much to do. We need some more workers to add to our crew." So out to the street went Sir Abner again. He looked in the market and found some more men. "I promise," he told them, "to give you good pay to work in my vineyard the rest of the day." "That's fine," said the men. "We'll do all we can," and off to the vineyards they willingly ran. By this time Sir Abner was weary indeed. "I'll go take a bath," he cried. "That's what I need." Sir Abner went home to get into the tub, but just as he started to rub-a-dub-dub and to scrub, he heard a knock-knock on the bathroom door. "Who is it?" he shouted, his heart filled with wrath. "It's Hector, your helper," the timid voice said. "Oh, please take a towel and dry off your head. Unless we find more men to work right away, we'll never be able to finish today." Sir Abner was not very happy just then. He dressed and went out and found 13 more men. "There's only 1 hour," he said, "before night. Go work in my vineyard. I'll pay you what's right." "Well, that's fine," said the men. "We won't dawdle or shirk." And they ran to the vineyard and started to work. "And now," sighed Sir Abner, "perhaps I can dare to go take a nap in my favorite chair." He hurried on home and unbuckled his shoes. No sooner, it seemed, had he started to snooze, when he heard a knock-knock on the door of his room. "I know who it is," sighed Sir Abner with gloom. "Hector," he shouted. The voice answered, "Yes." "Now, how in the world, Sir Abner, did you ever guess?" "I just came to tell you we're done for the day. The workers are waiting out here for their pay." Sir Abner got out his big strong money box, that needed 6 keys to undo all the locks. "Let's see now," he mumbled. 1 silver for you, for you, for you, and for you there too." Old Sir Abner was finally done. He handed 1 silver to every last one. "But, sir," cried the men, who had labored all day, "we think that we ought to be getting more pay. We've worked very hard in your vineyard since dawn. The rest of these fellows came much later on." "That fact, Sir Abner, I cannot protest. I know that you've worked more today than the rest. But when you were hired, you quickly agreed 1 silver was very good wage indeed. You have what I promised you. Why should you care what I pay these other men? That's my affair. The men were content. They went to buy meat and raisins and bread for their children to eat. Well done, sir, cried Hector. You did what was right. Now, with your permission, I bid you good night. If Hector's in bed, thought Sir Abner with glee, there's no one around to come bother me. He ran to his room with one mighty leap, jumped under his covers, and fell fast asleep. It's crazy to think that story is a story that Jesus told about a man who was in charge of a vineyard and went and hired people, and he paid them all the same, even though they didn't do the same amount of work. And some of the people who were there early and worked all day were upset. And the man of the vineyard said, just like Abner said, that's what we agreed to. Well, that's just like us in our faith. Our hope and our desire is for us all to make it to heaven. And some have been faithful since they were little kids. And some the Lord didn't open their hearts until later on in their life. It's not for us to judge. It's just for us to work hard doing God's will, because He is our master. He is our Lord, and we follow Him. May He bless you today.